you, but it does look like that Imperial T-side start. NiP will be taking to the defense, and the game is underway. One final map to separate them, one final spot at the group stage.
Julie's on hut here. Actually, Julie's in A completely.
5 Glocks, walkout yard.
Hampus is already on B here. He's starting lower deck, and P250 of bolts spots one out towards the heavens. All 5 down secret. Keep it simple, stupid.
Well, Hampus, Wolf, I thought he was looking for info. He gets Henny's head. And now Config descends the vent. Hard fight now. Oh my goodness, look at the damage. Vinny hanging on by a single nerve ending. 1 HP.
All right, well, Smoke can come out here to grant access to the back of the site. Hampus, doors open, mate.
What can he do to disrupt this? Oh, Phelps just pushing into him, and he greets him with bullets. More to be found. Info on Jota as well. Don't forget that Vinny, 1 HP. Hampus, 2 frags so far. And oh, sitting duck. Brolin collects the headshot. Now to fight this is a big fight for Bolts to win. Up for debate now. Brolin on the floor. Time ticking. And not ready for the off angle. Jota profits nicely. A misplaced crosshair from the Swede, and now it's taking shape for a Brazilian pistol.
I thought Jota had fluffed his lines right there, didn't he? First bullet not connecting, took him a couple. Head trick has no chance in this round here. Bomb too far, gone. Moments from Demise, and Zach happy to make a bit more noise this time round.
Yeah, no golf claps here. That's a big injection of momentum. And pistol rounds have not been coming all too easy to Imperial.
Yeah, and the start that I'm sure they were looking for here. Want to relive the glory of Overpass. Great job with the kills down towards the lower side of the map and then playing this out. Yeah, I thought that Jota had screwed up there by not connecting the dots immediately. Brolin had no idea that that was even a possibility, as we do see NiP battle in here with a force by their own. Headtrick with a scout. 5-7 and Deagles with some smokes to lock down some of these key choke points here. We always talk about these scouts finding a couple of key tags. He finds 1 tag, 1 Deagle bullet, that's a frag. This time very lobby-centric from Imperial. The squeaky smoke deployed, that will hold them at bay until about that 1 minute mark. Brolin and Hampus both still with smokes at the ready. You can see how Brolin is approaching this ramp position just to block, not to fight. So as soon as he gets info through that gap, he'll drop it.
He loves a gap, does Brolin. Can't fault him if his eyes are working as well as they clearly are.
Smoke wall, and well, unless they follow through, Hampus is ahead of this, Alex.
Yeah. So in terms of this, all of this time, ooh, head trick dead. Hampus, perfect placement of the crosshair despite the flashbang. Phelps is caught.
They know it's a fake outside then. Could turn more attention towards this A site.
Yeah. Oh, but actually picking up the rifle could have cost him his life. Gets away with it for a moment, but the bodies do drop.
That's still plenty of time, 40 seconds. No sweat on the brow just yet.
Ooh, Config actually had an opportunity onto Jota, but that's gone now. And a clean round. Henny's going to be happy with that one. That's 3 in their second round conversion and keeping 4 alive as well. So NiP going to have to kind of stomach a full 3-0 start for their opponent.
Yeah, and if Henny starts to have a good map, I think you're in trouble if you're NiP, because he's going to get loud alongside of Jota. These two definitely love to play Counter-Strike with that fire in the belly, and then you'll see all of them ignite here. So some tidy shots, even with Hampus trying to throw a spanner in the works, and Henny here crispy on the headshots. And there's that fire I was talking about. They call him the alligator. I haven't quite worked out why, but it's a pretty fun nickname if you ask me.
There's a lot worse out there. Isn't that right, Sponge?
I tried to rebrand. Just wanted to be Chad.
Yeah.
Hooksy took that one.
He did. And Phelps has taken Hampus straight out.
Nice little aim map smokes here. Obscure lockers. Main smoked off. There is a little bit of a gap here. And it is starting to fade, and Config will punish.
He's not, oh, he is kind of ready for this. And the shadow, not going to be enough time for him to react and place that bullet correctly. So, whilst it's nice to see that P250 in the feed, Config, probably the only frag to celebrate for the boys. It seems like they're even holding this. Henny, you talked about him coming in hot and strong. He just looked away. That's the bomb. This is a small window of opportunity here for Brolin. And well, for the whole team.
Now, lockdown now. You can see timing. Cruel Mistress in Counter-Strike.
Oh, Shadow. Lovely. Dream
Phelps
start.
as well, yeah. So this is Phelps 6 kills and Henny with a couple on the force buy as well. So all in all, not too shabby here for some of the key names on the Imperial roster, especially the two newest additions. But Phelps was having, I wouldn't say a field day, but he was definitely having some good exchanges on overpass on that T side. Remember when he was getting those heads-up duels against Brolin? So if he's feeling comfy again, we might actually have a map on our hands.
Well, Vinny's quote was specific. He said that he's kind of, by playing for so long against Brazilian competition, he's lost confidence against Tier 1 competition.
Okay.
Which I can understand in terms of not playing the same game here. Different level of opponent, perhaps.
Phelps is behind Hampus.
Yeah, and Phelps has completely caught off this in-game leader.
He's heard him. I thought he heard him. Well, they know where he is now.
Oh, yeah, lost that element of surprise at least. Oh, and Hampus goes looking. He actually has confirmation of not only Vinny, but Phelps as well. A one-man yard hold.
Calm, considering how much pressure there was.
Very cool. Above and beyond the call of duty, even confirms Bolt's location with the swing of the flash. And look what Hampus has done to this Imperial T side.
It's really hard to find a way forward. This molly and smoke implies there is a possibility for a vent drop here. So you can see Config trying to address that. Hampus as well from Yard. And Config's actually covered some flak damage. There is a gap on that smoke. They've limped out Squeaky. And Jota's not going to push the issue. I think they are just going to call the save. So 20 seconds left, holding the guns. Bolts all the way back deep in T-Spawn. Holding on to 2 Galils. They're not going to get any loss bonus here. Regardless, it would have been that bottom of the barrel 1400. Jota and Henny still have residual cash. Vinny can buy himself. Phelps the same. And all it took was Hampus getting that double kill towards Yard. But Phelps quite truly beelined it with that smoke wall into Warehouse. Got there what was seemingly undetected. Had the sound cue of Hampus falling off the box. And then got caught off by one AK bullet. Trying to search out the head of Mr. Headtrick. A little bit scary. He thinks they're going to do some inner stuff. Okay. So feeling under pressure when they have these round openings was Config. Let's see if he feels that pressure again. Imperial. Do we have a similar wall of smokes towards Yard or a different look completely? Yeah, different look completely.
Towards that inner side. Config rewarded. Rez as well. Racks up Vinny. And already they're left wanting. That's big from Bolt elsewhere. Catches Rez. Hampus has something to work with if they were to push it. Yeah, the smoke should cover it. Peeked ahead of it and does throw a good set of rounds into Bolts.
Poised enough to swap out the guns here. So AK into the healthier Jota as opposed to the peppered Bolts. And still trying to harass is Hampus. Hampus has another smoke for this, and I guess he doesn't need to use his own. Going to be replenished by his teammates. Might run out of bullets before he finds a frag. But this one again, kind of stomped, blocked, and forced to reconsider their options are Imperial. Definitely not in a rush to throw away their lives here.
No, it's our turn, they say. Oh, but he will get info. Yeah,
they've really got to fix up those smokes, don't they?
That was what he was waiting for. Confirmation of presence. They go for the boost behind the T-side vent, but they're not going to get anything done here. Heaven looking for answers and gets the face full of lead. They know where the rest are, though. Both spraying, spamming Hampus. He's throwing bullets back in their direction. And though arduous and drawn out, you'll see NiP make it just a one-round game.
Okay, well, these rounds have essentially been decided within the opening jaunt, right? That little exploration last round in towards Yard, the deaths, and this time hard in towards top. Blocked, stopped, round done. And a one-round game. You know, Config's had his ups and downs over his career, right? And he's one of these players that, well, we know he's had some moments that he'd rather forget. But seems like he could be a good source of energy for this team and a good role model as long as he keeps the head on the shoulders in the right way. Young head trick next to him.
Yeah, no, I agree. An opportunity. Hampus trying to time this spray right. Phelps is already well across. And it's just Phelps. So Bron, you can see ramp player already descending to acknowledge the potential.
And the AWP of head trick is here to fill that void. It's always very together from Imperial, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, where there's smoke, there's fire with the Brazilians. Second flash.
So
effective. That's beautiful.
They know it was the AWP now, so should expect one player to potentially be lower already.
Where is Brolin hiding, says Vinny. Deep clear. Nice shot, Brolin. Racks up ahead and stands tall for nothing more. Henny. What a round. First the flash, now the frag. Bolt even anticipating this lobby wrap to ramp.
And they're backing off, so...
They call it this time.
Yeah, all right. Well, it's going to be one of these maps of Counter-Strike. Lots of respect being shown here. Neither team wanting to force themselves into situations that feel unwinnable. Polar opposite ends of the map will be occupied here as Imperial notch the 4th onto the board, and in quite simple fashion, Headtrick getting caught out completely blind. Brolin does his best, traded, and that's the site given up. You have to be feeling much better about this already if you're Zach. It's not another Ancient on your hands here. This is already a competitive affair, and you have the lead. It
feels, yeah, attainable, right? I mean, it did feel like Ancient was just underdeveloped in comparison to the first map and seemingly the third.
Yeah, and look, it's difficult. Like, it would be easy to say, oh yeah, that makes sense. Teams coming into this, they're having a lot of time to practice on all the maps, so they're going to have more focus on their own good maps. So you see less of the, swapping of, winning opponents' map picks. But then you could conversely look at the other side of that. It's like, well, no one's seen what we do, and we haven't played it in official. We hope it's good.
Yeah.
And then maybe it's not.
Living on a prayer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you could really frame it either way. As oh, yeah, Headtrick a bit frustrated there. Understandably so. His death.
The second flash.
Right. So a bit frustrated in that situation. Young Headtrick.
Okay, Hampini being cheeky. And Henny up on the silo as well. Different flavor to this one. He thinks better of sticking around. He's going straight down. Okay, so trying to be ahead of this. Maybe he wants to be playing from the secret side, but Henny up on the silo. Config responsible for inner. Bit more of a divide and conquer this time for Imperial. You can see a little bit more divided. I say that really. I mean, it's just Jota holding the lobby, rest work and yard. It's still...
But this pace is more reminiscent of Overpass as well, right? Remember when they were doing the 3-1-1s or the 1-3-1? They were taking map control. They had good ideas. You can see much more organized here, and it's going to be a top split.
Just like that, Config finds main, and Jota responds. Heavy damage inflicted to him. Reaction still out of res required. He's got topside on lock. He's calling it clear, but there is movement. Look at Phelps. He has found and identified a huge gap, and Headtrick audibly descending into the site.
Phelps is a great timing here, Alex.
Lips here, bro.
A great timing.
Res, free food. Headtrick doesn't react, and this round is glorious. Brolin from behind. A flank on the flank. And a bomb to be denied. Oh, he's done it. Now all up to Hampus. He's set it up on a silver platter, though. That's the layup. It's time for Hampus to hit the slam dunk. Skadoosh. Happy with that one. Well recovered, considering the way in which Phelps caught that timing and the damage he inflicted. Brolin and Hampus piece it back together again.
Yeah, kind of just get away with that one, don't they? You can see not acknowledging the gaps that are available. But again, I just want to continue to sing the praises of Imperial here. They're doing it in blocks, in chunks. Take this area, right? They're looking good in the way that they're able to move across the map here. And that's a bit of a relief there for NiP.
Keeping that energy. I mean, I think that's going to be a priority for both of these teams. You know, we are getting into the later stages of the evening. Got to maintain that energy in this third map. It's all to play for. The last spot in the group stage.
Phelps is going to make it across again. So They are setting him up to take this space, right? They're using a lot of resources. You can see 3 smokes dotted across yard here on the radar. And as they start to fade, that is all given to at least make the CTs worried about the potential of that lower play.
Right.
But last time Phelps got across, he stayed exactly here. He didn't push the issue. He chilled and he actually activated late, and he wasn't necessary. This time might have to be a little bit more forward to help force a rotation because it's currently quite heavily fortified. Now, another way that you would want to make this one happen is if Phelps can get down, you could do like a vent drop, but he hasn't investigated, so it makes it a little bit scarier for them to operate with this. But
he's made it very clear now.
This is important.
And that is a very comfortable headshot.
But they're still going down the vent. This is still working.
Hampus hears it. Config tagged up heavily. Hampus' reaction is just in time. Look at that. Distraction. Oh, Brolin needs Hampus to deliver. He can't finish the meal. Henny, 1 HP on that one. And Config the save.
Another save.
Yeah, has to be.
Oh, wait. A kill back. Bomb's not down yet.
That 1 HP finished off. Nice work from Headtrick to keep him interested.
Round's just changed.
Yeah, and Bolt is investigating down as well, joining the only healthy
Alex,
member.
the time.
They can still get that bomb down. It's impossible for them to disrupt directly.
No one's on it. No one's planning. Guys, someone has to plant the bombs.
5.
Guys,
4.
I don't know if there's time. This is going to be real close.
They got it just in the last frame. That nearly was becoming an Imperial special.
Yeah, another Joda moment right there.
Whoa.
Okay, well, just the key word in that one for Imperial. And we were already calling the NiP save about 20 seconds ago. That nade almost changed the entire conversation for round number 8 here. But again, impressed. Phelps taking that duel, understanding what that means. If you're Hampus, you don't want to stay around and take that fight, initially taken towards Secret. That meant that avenue that they were able to force, just drop down the vent. It was the fireman's pole to success. I like that from Imperial, I really do. Understanding what utility they had available, what avenues were open, and having to kind of smash their way into that one.
Yeah, no, and considering the way that kind of it started and Phelps' initial damage he takes, they really did make a round out of that.
Yeah, but that shows his presence alone was enough to force Hampus back, because if Phelps died and Hampus got to stay in that position, it meant that he could deal with the vent drop, at least maybe for another kill. So really important from Phelps, even though it was just an exchange, it was still key. So doing good stuff. I was just saying how many resources they put into him getting that space, and that's exactly what he needed to do. Counter-Strike, especially with the macro here, as we're seeing these rotations being exploited, you can see it's not always just about the kill. And NiP, they take a timeout. This is not the start that they were looking for here on the CT side of map number 3, especially after they won the knife, and that's a start on their side of choice.
Promising signs out of this Imperial T side. Chad's impressed, and that doesn't happen every day. Hampus trying to go for this over-the-top angle.
Another different smoke wall.
Yeah, and he's trying to piece it together, but he's exposed to that silo. Jewel adjusts it to Vinny. Knee-jerk reaction. Phelps is dressed, and it's back to a level pegging. Oh! Brolin up the ladder. Great on the deagle, and forces them, propels them down the ramp.
Well, there's ahead of this. No one's here just yet. Dropping down the vent is going to be Brolin. A lot to consider here if you're Imperial.
Here's them. Good idea as to where they're coming from. Brolin left short-changed. Jota bests him a 2-on-2. Jota's looking sharp, but so is Headtrick as a 1-on-1 emerges. Rez versus Henny. Loud about this. Advantage Rez as he tracks him. Through the sound, Henny hits the war key. Information confirmation with the door.
Born in tent, mate. Didn't close the door.
Oh, but Rez takes too long about it. And Henny, gets the info, fires off the shot, Rez will close. An opportunity presented itself. And Henny going to be kicking himself for the miss or the pre-fire, but that is going to be a 4th for the Ninjas, and they've got Rez to thank.
I've still got a smile on his face right there, Henny. That's the type of round that I think he knows he could have won right there. Still very good to get that bomb down, considering the circumstances of how this one was starting to spiral out of control. Great trade here onto Headtrick to make it even possible. Had a lot of time on the clock. Had no idea exactly where Rez was. And we'll go down in the final throws there. But NiP returned to just a one-round game. They retain that AWP for Mr. Headtrick. And the same can't be said for Imperial, who are down to some pistols and one AK.
Yeah, dropped by Vinny. I went to art school of CSGO. Phelps down. AK on the floor. Vinny still manages to contribute. It's short-lived. Config will make it a second. On this topside defense, Jota advanced ahead of that smoke. He is perhaps hoping to catch an inquisitive CT off with his forward position. Roland. The full belt of util playing for the full off. Happy to take these engagements with the pistols. Now for will concede. Ramp lost. Heavy advantage NiP.
Imperial have done all right when they've forced out some of the space here. And now that they've parked bolts behind the ramp box, late activation towards Hell is possible here. Remember, config's very low, Headtrick half HP. Brolin has been forced down towards the lower deck. So they have divided, but yet to conquer here, Imperial.
Ooh, good reaction out of Headtrick. Jota's element of surprise now squandered.
They know exactly where the AWP is. Oh, a bolt has been found.
Less potent now. Playing upon the fade. Rez is staring right at him. Set for success. Maybe overlooking Henny here, but no, cleans it up nicely. Rez, some heavy contributions, getting himself back towards that positive KD as we are all tied up 5 to piece. And this is where it's going to be kind of the make or break of Imperial's T-Hall, right?
Should be the partial here, which means NiP can take the lead in this one. Get themselves up to 6 rounds first, and then in the follow-up, we will see the guns come out again. Lost bonus 2,400. Very interested to see Jota buy into a Galil. I guess he's happy to operate with Galils in back-to-back rounds here, and if he can get a couple of kills and keep this CT economy somewhat humbled, then the investment is well worth it. I don't mind the fact they're returning to Yard here, especially with more numbers now. Phelps has had decent success in getting space.
Cross to red already. A Deagle headshot would open up a lot of our possibilities, and Phelps trying to just pepper away long-range block. That's the Deagle we were discussing. Rest in peace. And Jota's Galil now in the feed. Bolt's tempted. Headtrick posted. Rifle recovered. And they do catch Rez off, overwhelming him. Now Config's got too many fights, too many fronts, and he does manage to reposition very well for the first, and it enables Brolin to contribute. And so NiP, I mean, 3 frags, you know.
Worth the investment, 100%.
That's what they were looking for.
100% worth the investment right there. They got so much out of that, and Jota will go with another Galil again. He could have bought an AK, but why the hell not have the Galil? He did great damage with it there. 8 kills for him, and a fantastic job at making sure the CT economy doesn't start to get out of control. They will have to almost bottom out all of their funds here, NiP, to get the guns in everybody's hands. It's Headtrick, the only one with the residual, and Imperial calling this timeout allows DJ and Zach to both contribute here. For NiP, it's about clawing back this half and getting as far ahead of Imperial as you can. It's 3 on the trot right now, the biggest streak for either team. Imperial managed that with the pistol and conversions out the gate. NiP now doing that through a string of, well, somewhat difficult rounds. Now we get to see Imperial with the full guns back out. What's the next call look like? Zach's taking this timeout for a reason. It's probably identifying as well just how much of a field day Phelps has been having and getting that space. So smokes towards Yard once more, and this time it looks like it's with pace. Oh, lots of bodies. I like it. Direct as a unit.
Hampus overseeing Yard.
Have to get a bit of a wriggle on here, don't they, towards Yard? The smokes are going to start to fade in a moment's time. Bolt's parked behind main.
I mean, Hampus has got any sort of funny business covered. That is Bolt's perhaps going to be able to catch him on his stray foul.
But we've seen only Phelps go down almost every time, right?
Right.
This time it's, other than the pistol where it was everybody.
And yet NiP really switched on. I think it's because Bronn just pushed lobby and saw nothing, by the way.
Yeah, so less resistance across the rest of the map. A telling sign here is Phelps will deploy the stairwell molly and one in exchange. So not negated, but definitely stalled. And Hampus is in a position where he can't really move. Has to activate late. Smoke perks his interest. And oh, Bolts didn't see ya.
Oh, he did now. He did now, Mr. Hampus. Yeah, wow, effective damage into Hampus. Bolts draws first blood. With 30 seconds now for the final flourish. 2 to find down here. It's a nice crossfire. Look at that. Break that, I dare you. Phelps, first victim, and there's the help. Solid from the Ninjas, and even gets away. Brollan lives to fight another day. 20 seconds. No hope.
Vent to A, maybe? They're really running out of options here. Might even just be the save. 10 seconds left on the clock. Do you really want to brave this one? You'd just be running into the den of death. And there you go. NiP will convert yet another. Awkward moment towards Yard with that Hampus death, sure, but I love that crossfire. Great work, door wide open. Literally 180 degrees they have to clear out.
Yeah, it was really cool to see Bolts just forcing Hampus to kind of expose himself and gets that info just with a speculative bullet. You can see that knee-jerk reaction of, I guess, the jig is up. Spotted a pointy elbow and finished him off. This is a crossfire that you don't get to see every day. Just so effective if they're all channeled into that direction. They had cover. And yeah, that was that first element of surprise. You saw that immediate jolt. He's like, he wasn't expecting to be taking damage. You were just saying, he'll activate late, bang, maybe I won't.
And then the problem is that he knows he's been hit, so he's worried about the blood splatter on the wall. So what could it mean?
Oh my God, Phelps accelerates. Rez needs to react, and he does so well with Brollan's help. Down the vents though with the bomb, and 3 members get down there. Oh, this is a very different looking round now.
No util though.
Head Trick should have a shooting gallery in the absence of Molotovs and smokes. And now Hampus as well, applying the noose from behind. Tightening now around what was quite a potent descent down the vent. But falling flat in its conversions. Vinny spotted on the ladder. Should be a free frag for Hampus. And the Bolts 1v5. I think it's an order a little too tall. Up to 8 now on the defense. This is a recovery from the Ninjas in pajamas. They are running towards a impactful CT haul.
Config just said, where's my M4? He had a Galil in his hands. Needed to make sure he got that one upgraded. And he found it there in the end. And yeah, you're right. I agree. Like the recovery from how this one started very shaky, but now extremely strong. And we've been talking about the energy of this team. If they can go into the halftime break with 7 consecutive rounds, their confidence will be bubbling out of control here. Another buy that is lacking in some departments for Imperial again. And Phelps, well, we're going to try and get some world records for his speed, not a swimmer. But has been quick towards Yard at times. Wonder if he's been on any Wheaties boxes. Maybe a late top hit here. HE to blow open the door. He's already on the roof and the go, but Hedrick already in hut with the AWP. He's going to skewer them here.
Or not. Not on Phelps' watch. Swats away the aggressive AWP. Mistimed on the molly. Brollan dead as well. And just as we discussed, NiP's recovery.
There's 2 on B.
Imperial respond with 2. Man advantage. Well, how long will that be for? Hampus ready. Shakes things up. Aggression. Henny in support. Config held at bay by the smoke on Decon. And with Rez actually activating onto ramp, now things get interesting. They are pincering in. Smokes will be fading. Time plenty. Bolt doesn't necessarily need any help because his teammates are doing all the work. And forces Rez away and down into a 6th for the boys. Yes, some legacy on the screen as well. SK Gaming's back-to-back 2016 and 2017. Bolts, of course, familiar. And Phelps too.
Yeah, I love the fact that Phelps got the opener and the closer there, right? You see those two frags come in for him, but they were key kills. As I thought Headtrick was about to get an awful lot done there over towards Hut, Phelps rips his head off.
See what? Yeah, 3 and 3 in opening duels, so he's participated in 6. Taking some gambles on that yard position. Oh, Hampus this time brought very low from Phelps. He seems to have Hampus's number in these yard exchanges.
This is cheeky. This is real cheeky from Config here. Hyper aggressive, res debate for him as well, but that smoke's still up on the fade. Might go overlooked.
Config, power position, profits. And from Hut, they do manage to take down Red. Headtrick lets it go. Config saves him. More to be found though. Vinny should have him, but Config somehow pulls a second. Hut clear, he says, and oh, Hampus. Can't believe his luck. Bomb delivered to his front door. Had to get off there and get the round done. 9 in the bag. Ninjas in pajamas and Imperial a single half for the final spot in the group stage of IEM Cologne.
Stages do not get bigger than this.
You're watching watching the Intel Extreme Masters. This is the final battle for the final spot in the group stage. 16 of the world's best teams going to be gathering and doing battle starting tomorrow, and in just NiP and Imperial.
It's right in front of me here, Alex. Heroic, Vitality, FaZe, G2, ENCE, Gamer Legion, Cloud9, Monty, Astralis, Mouse, Na'Vi, Fnatic 9, the Mongols, OG, and the winner of this match right here, right now, NiP or Imperial will be joining those big names in the group stage kicking off tomorrow.
Stacked.
Ram
So are
rush.
the odds against Imperial. That's a very close game here on our third map. Let's see how Jota handles this as they're coming for him.
2B.
Yeah, any perfect position for some good headshots here. Very ready's his aim and already catching flag. Brolin gets them both.
I don't think he was ready. I saw him pull himself closer in the chair in that moment.
Oh dear. And head trick onto Phelps just for the final finish. There's nothing to be done. Every single member of Imperial left empty-handed.
Running all over them here, and
There you go.
Config almost kept it clean.
The exemption to the rule.
Oh,
Maybe any more from Vinny.
Let's see. It's the Vinny 1-on-5.
The Vinny 1-on-3. And it could have been 2. Ooh, nearly finished off Rez as well. Can't believe he's still alive. Gets time to reload, and this time, Rez finishes the job. DJL desperately trying to get his boys across the finish line. You are now 6 rounds away from joining that list of teams.
These next two become the most important, and you see Henny and Jota here just getting overrun. I was looking at Henny's cam as he was getting pushed. Like, the fight came so quick, it felt like he got caught off guard by it. You're right, it is a strong position, but it didn't feel like he was ready to accept those duels. So right now, Zach consoling him after that one. An important pistol here, and an even more important follow-up. NiP should be good for this when you take stock of the current purchase. Now, I will tell you, Vinny has a Zeus, and Jakey, he's even been able to find that one too, so... Come on, man.
Vinny's might be reporting back that Hampus is 50 health lower. USP bullet long range to the helmet.
And they are doing this duo stack on the rafters in the top site. Vinny in the vents, so you can see here we've seen this one before.
It worked before.
Yeah, and it's good to see Imperial with these tricks up their sleeve, right? It's nice to have as many of these maneuvers as possible. You want to be able to pull out these little tricks when you can, but as NiP quietly make their way out ramp, they will be finding the path of least resistance here. Bruce Lee fans being like water, as they have gotten themselves down towards the lower site with no dramas whatsoever. Vinny could still get away with a cheeky one here, though, couldn't he?
I think it's certainly looking promising right now. I say that as Rez does seem to be caged up, locked in.
With all the rifle investments here, if you're NiP as well, you want to hold on to all of these. Hampus is the only one you're willing to give away. Won't be a unicorn round. Vinny's way too close.
He really wants this. More for a morale boost.
But they're just going to live in the window side, right? They don't have to back.
What?
Vinny's going to run at them.
Ah, they really were ready for that.
Yep.
And Hampus confirms that the rest of the USPs seem to be lingering around this top site. Boom.
Okay, well, Bolts and Jota go down with the ship. I think Hampus is quite surprised they wouldn't fight him there. Well, you had a MAC-10, mate. I think they're quite fiscally responsible over there on the Imperial side of the server, but things will start to heat up now. I think the serious nature is sinking in.
It is.
And Round 18 will be the first buy for Imperial in this half.
Yeah, and T rounds at this stage going to be worth their weight in gold. Now the weapons are out. So getting yourself to 11 before, you know, you have to take an extra deep breath, fill your lungs. Advantage CTs in the weaponry department, still a bonus as it were. And a spray through the smoke chips away at head trick.
You know there's commitment behind it because of all the nades. So rotation in towards the lower deck here. Jota is going to need some help. I know a lot's coming. This is very loud.
Yeah, it's very brazen from NiP. No secrets, and Jota done. After the one, Henny tucked in, overlooked by head trick. And doesn't kill him. Maybe Phelps can clean up, and he does. An important and impactful double. Now Hampus not the weapon for the job. Doesn't even get the chance to pull the trigger as he's caught in transition. Rez versus 3. Bolt's on the reclear. Good and set for it. Impressive adjustment, but the damage was done by Bolt. Puts Rez into a very uncomfortable scenario. Maybe the M4 is a more valid save.
That was essentially a full bonus round, right? Nobody dying in the previous round NiP.
Right.
Galil's carried through, Mac 10 for Hampus. So even with the min loss bonus coming through of 1400, they will be able to buy yet again. And even if Rez was to go down, right, it would have still been fine.
Yeah, just Henny's going to be super grateful that Phelps got both of them there.
Yeah, Jota's so annoying, right? You're not expecting anyone to swing the door open as you're trying to scale, and Hedrick to get the double was beautiful, but nobody had to make good on his 2 frags. Roland getting caught off guard, and a good response here from Imperial. So they will keep 2 alive, but it's still quite touch and go. I believe NiP will have a better purchase than Imperial into this next round, even though they are going to win it. So 4, 3, 2, and of course 1. And that one's done. 11-7 now. Just a 4-round game.
Timeout called.
Number 2 for NiP. Now, as mentioned, they can buy, but because it's a bit more sketch, 4.7 was the high end on Hedrick. Everybody else just above that 4K mark. It's about discussing, do I need a Galil because the boss wants extra util? Can I buy an AK and maybe I just have a smoke or a flash? And it looks like they are prioritizing the AKs here. So as we take stock of what util is available, and the 2 Molotovs, smokes on everybody and lighter on the flashes. And what this means is not just me filling time, it removes the amount of options and openings that NiP are going to be having within the round. If they use a molly top hut early, then they've only got 1 for later in the round. If they want to use it to isolate main, only 1 for later in the round. So you have to be a bit more particular with this. And as mentioned, some emissions in the Imperial buy, 1 kit and a Bolt MP9.
Yeah, just 4 flashbangs. All his defense. Phelps, hearing Hampus, he's ahead of the molly. But will Phelps be ready for the amount of bodies occupying yard as well? Jota, his pesky nature. I think he's been spotted out by Hampus. He's communicating that information.
They should be able to cross this treacherous path quite late here. It is just Henny to worry about from heaven, but it's not an AWP, it's just an M4. Main smoked off now. And they're across. Now they've been able to retain.
Ooh, Henny,
good info, good info.
Valuable information. And that's the ender. Hampus as well. Jota plays the headshot angle. Phelps, I think he spotted out 1 on Rez, maybe not. Great flashbang. NiP are up the creek now without the paddle.
40 seconds. Lobby aggression as well here. Good move from Imperial.
Adjusting really nicely. Jota! That is revolting. Just the tips of their heads, and now he's dead. Perhaps there's more for the ninjas. Very light on time. Still feet planted on the top side. It's only Bolts even within touching distance of disrupting the plant. Util through. They have to be good about this. 15 seconds, lads. And okay, low HP is config. Bolts doesn't quite finish it off. Stralis plant, hard to stop. Near impossible when config's hot, hitting another shot. 2 frags from him on that low HP, and now a 12th round secured.
This is so difficult for Imperial now. They win 1 round. They only have 2 players staying alive. They have to drop an MP9 in the mix, not full util, no AWP for Henny to wield on Nuke. Now 1900 is the loss into the next. 1 saved rifle, 12 rounds against them. And very likely to be 13. Because the options are starting to become more and more limited here. Was some really, really nice shooting from Jota there. Just was an absolute monster, a headhunter. Just ripping off those scalps, but it wasn't enough. And the energy only coming from DJO right now. The rest of the NiP boys focused on the task, but take us back to Overpass. Imperial came alive. Managed to shut them out, right? If I want to give a little bit of hope late in the evening here. Interestingly enough, DJL has called the third timeout from NiP here, understanding the importance, this springboard that they currently stand on. Could be a bit of a belly flop, or could it be a perfect dive in with a number 10 if they're able to convert this round here, because we can see the type of investment off of the saved rifle that Imperial are looking for. Is it the shove all in? 2,400 in the next. I can't believe they've dropped another rifle here. This is the type of round where they're hedging their bets. They're saying, hey, look, if Henny and Phelps are able to gear up and get us a kill or two, then maybe just some light pistol upgrades, even Vinny with just a Zeus. So this is very, very strange as far as the purchases are concerned, but if they can be a disruptive force here, maybe, just maybe, this is what Imperial need to get the party started.
See what the call is to boost for that CZ.
Your biggest concern if you're NiP off the back of that timeout is discussing the saved M4. You wouldn't be expecting an AWP in play, so Yard would be a safe bet. And look at all the smokes deployed as Rez finds bolts in the back right there. The first incision. And it comes for free.
As we saw, they have set Jota up for success if they do really want to force a fight on ramp. Vinny with only the Zeus, it's not going to be him taking first contact, just Jota. Readies himself for that first. How aware is Rez? He gets the info.
Scrappy.
And Vinny down as well upon the jiggle. Great work from Hampus to relieve the ramp pressure, and confirmation of a third body there. And so the low site's theirs.
And a big one once they note that, that M4 in the mix. So Phelps and Henny are looking to hold on to these here and should be able to do so. Bomb will go down, 40 seconds thrust onto the clock, and NiP have secured their 13th round. There will be a buy for Imperial into the next. We are well aware of that. Yeah, DJL knowing, can't hear anything, can't see anything, has to be the save. You can hear a pin drop in here now.
You really can.
It's gotten quite quiet.
It's a completely different environment.
What are we at? 11:15 local.
Dead silent, holding on to those two rifles. Henny and Phelps bring them through. NiP, they are starting to get to that magic number. 3 away now from the group stage.
And just again, to return to Overpass, they were up 12-8 and ended up losing that first map of play 16-13. So they managed to get the 13 again, but is this where Imperial come alive? They've already been able to come back into a game once before. That belief is there, but the momentum right now is with NiP. A new look squad, Hampus back in the leadership role. And now he's got Config and Headtrick to work with alongside of the Swedes. Their momentum, the 16-6 Ancient win, propelling NiP his energy.
Wow, so obscured by the flames there. Brolin couldn't see him at all. It leads to 2 opening kills for the defense.
At this point, you'd be saying, hey, they need a round in any fashion, but they need a round with at least 3 players staying alive here, Imperial. It's a pretty damn good start. Deep deep squeaky smoke deployed as they find another. Multiple bodies take the step out, and Hampus is found here. They're not giving them a whole lot of room to work with.
And they're perfectly rotating into this. There'll be 2 here. Make it only 1 or none. Config and Headtrick combine for a 1-on-1.
Blink and you miss it.
Just like that, 3 frags from NiP to completely even us out. And now we get a full duel with very high stakes. Bolts, an opportunity in the clutch to give Imperial a little bit of breathing room to recover in a must-win map to continue here in Cologne. And Headtrick, with the bomb on his back, the responsibility to plant.
No kit for bolts here. He's deep in squeaky. Bomb will get planted. Realizes the wrong place at the wrong time now. Wants to do this as quietly as possible. Finds himself a smoke, sure, that's not too bad. You would love to have found a kit here somewhere as you traverse down towards B, but that's not the case. Headtrick We'll get the sound cue.
Oh, the door! He had all the time in the world to adjust, but perhaps caught in his head. Bolts, says Imperial, have a lot more to say.
Oh, that one right there. You know, I'm talking about the sound cue of the door. You feel like you should be able to swing there in time, but just not ready for it. And this was really thanks to Config's heroics towards ramp. Without that, there wasn't too much of a way back in. Door swings open, head trick not ready, and Hamper slumps over in his chair. That's a round.
They know what it means,
almost
don't they?
stole away, yeah. And this is where Imperial can start to try and bring things back together. Traded with an MP9. M4's on the rest. A much fuller looking buy. The NiP side of things. Smoke wall towards yard. Not deployed off the rip, but after a moment's notice. It's the L block, a classic.
One of our favorites. And this is a lot of aggression! My God, he's got the whole team! He takes one with him. Look at their health. Bronnen and Rez, ooh, left wanting. As Bolts' shots, they're connecting. All to play for still. Jota cheating down. Vinny interested in answers from lobby.
Config's the key here. They're letting him explore, right? We see the info plays and the info moves from Imperial, but that's to be expected. It is Config's maneuver here that may be the difference maker. Hasn't taken any contact yet, and at this level of Counter-Strike, NiP should be expecting this lobby push. But right now, it's a 2-2 split of the defense, and Config with perfect timing can't hit the shot. Vinny's going to find him. Brolin onto Jota, and they're running into B.
Had his knife out, no trade available. Henny delays with the flame. They return the favor, but really uncomfortable for the two of them.
That's so scary. Look at Bolts.
And Vinny was there as well. No one's ready. Bolts will spray through, and Zach gets a little louder now. 9 in the bank. And Ninjas in pajamas will have to wait until round 24 before they can fully have another taste.
And maybe, just maybe, this comeback could be a reality here. I mentioned they did it on Overpass. That was their map choice. Nuke, they've also shown a bit of proficiency at in this tournament just here. And that was perfect from Vinny onto Config there. That could have been the kill that got away. And you can see them here, just no time and not ready for that type of a play. Yeah. And Config curious as to why Vinny's ready for exactly that. But remember, there was just an air of change. There was a full-on shift in Overpass, and it was talked about on the desk. You saw players starting to make plays.
Can you recall the catalyst to that?
Well, they were highlighting Jota being aggressive over towards A, and then they even highlighted Vinny going for that backyard B flash push, right?
Yeah.
The game kind of shifted. Yanko highlighted it as they were playing to win. They weren't playing scared. And if Imperial can find that form and fire right now, it might be enough to pull them back into this game. Sure, looks like quite the distance as far as the 4 rounds are concerned, but this one here should be a gimme. As Henny starts to light them up now. 2 on the trot. Config's Deagle, deadly as ever.
Continue his crawl. Oh, we had one drop into the site, and there's a weapon to be retrieved. He's got Kevlar with that, so, you know, it's certainly it's in the right candidate.
Config's been a monster this series.
Oh, Rez gone.
He's plus 22 is Config.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's not including this third map, and he's currently sitting at 17 and 12. Let's see how many more he can make it. This position from Vinny, he is such an annoying player to deal with.
Right, and he always does it with a smile on his face. And no stress. This time, Config gets the better of him. But Henny, dropping that bomb carrier, lines up for the double. NiP fall at the hands of Henny. 4 in total. Sure, supposed to be, but doing so with that AWP.
Yeah, pretty good team effort so far over there on Imperial as well. 16 for Phelps. There was a big question mark about him. We saw it highlighted with that graphic at the start of the segment here. His performances since 2017, and Land had just been hitting the dirt in 2017.
Brilliant graphic, that
remember,
one.
with SK, Phelps picking up that Cologne trophy. So for him, it must feel like almost a lifetime.
Right.
So long ago, 2017.
And Phelps Volts are doing it again.
Yeah, this is the thing. This is another almost free round. NiP went for something more direct, something a bit more of an uppercut. They didn't want to go slow. They didn't want to try and play the rotations. They tried to brute force their way in with a top pop. Roland and Hedrick dead already. 3-on-5 situation.
Just like that.
Remember what happened as well? They couldn't get the bomb down in that patch. They couldn't get into the rounds, right? They just weren't able to get into them.
Well, if NiP in 2 map losses with an advantage to miss out on Cologne groups.
That would be from a 12-8 and what, a 13-7 scoreline? A 13-8 scoreline?
Yeah. Well, this one's most definitely locked in.
Oh, 2,900 lost into the next. A plant.
Impossible.
Yeah, and that would have really been quite the happy helper.
Maybe not. And Phelps secures
Huge
it,
round.
and the belief is swelling right now for Imperial. With 5 still alive, they are building that fund, that little cash in the coffer that they'll be able to call upon in their times of need on their path to glory.
And NiP are feeling it right now. DJL has felt the need to call the 4th and final timeout available to him here as they're about to head into a partial bye. This is a real problem for DJL in that moment because you're almost letting go of the wheel. You're saying, what do we have available? What are some of the other good rounds we have to call? You need to remind your players, your in-game leader, of what you have in the back pocket, because as the stress starts to mount, you get clouded. That energy's gone. Remember, it was a team effort of the energy. Where is it? It's just DJL screaming after round wins.
Yeah. And
now we're talking 4 consecutive, about to be 5, unless this little pocket strat from NiP can get something done.
It would have to be spectacular. They tried to shift up the pace with weapons. Now they're trying it with the lighter buy and into the spray, into the meat grinder. Phelps, he is holding his own in this game. High stakes, tier 1 opposition. And he's at the top of the scoreboard. Phelps, 19 frags. And as you've highlighted, yeah, his last trip to Cologne a few years ago.
Yeah, might want to have a bit of that Peter Pan syndrome here. I don't want to grow up. He knows what it's like to taste victory here. Look at that bomb, marooned on a desert island right now, and Bolt's whipping away with a couple of shots.
Nice work, actually, from
Snatched
Hedrick.
it.
Off the flash, anticipating the turn. He actually finds a little window into Ninja in that bomb and giving them something to hold on to into this round.
And just as we saw Phelps get that opener, he's currently 6-3 in that department. Oh, almost a double.
Could have been the collapse. Now Henny needs help, and that's what Jota's here for. Great connection. We'll take down 2. And there's more where that came from, as they can see just throwing their bodies into Jota. He racks himself up the quad kill, and now it's a 1-round game. DJL hands behind his head and touching knuckles because no more timeouts remain. It is all Hampus and the NiP boys individually going to have to pull themselves through this one. It has been, what a run. The last rounds.
5 in a row, I think.
5 in a row, yeah. 6 in total on this defense. Been quite the hiatus from this NiPT side. We told you these T rounds worth their weight in gold. Well, in need of a couple more. And Bronan's throwing caution to the wind. It's this time the exception.
Massive fight to win.
Has provided an opening for the Ninjas in pajamas. And that is what he was called upon to do. And he provides. Smokes through the sky. They have the advantage. Can Imperial find anything to recover? We talked about Phelps' prowess here. He has been delivering in a hard roll yard side.
If he deals with Hampus here, he knows this outside player is just a fake.
If Molly to delay, Hampus peeking around, it covers. Phelps completely, oh, but there's info. Phelps spotted out only 1 though, and the smokes perhaps for naught, as Phelps maintains full secret control. Now they lost ramp.
Look where Henny is. He was on the upper railing last time round, this time in the back of the site. Has a smoke if they molly him as well here. And 2 players, as they come and creep in towards the B site, they can do this.
Henny poised, focused, aware of what's in store. Safe from the flash and the perfect weapon to collect. Reds down, Hedrick eats lead, and Phelps with a final flourish. 2 remain for the Ninjas and 30 seconds to piece it together. Config ahead. separates one. And Hampus trying to join in with 28 seconds. Vinny tactically delays. And then hoping for this late ramp arrival to disrupt the plant or retake.
Well, they know both are B now. Bolts was still looking at lobby. Finally gets the call that they're both down towards the lower deck. Bomb to be planted 2-on-2. Kit's in play.
Up for debate. It hangs in the balance of this duel. Hampus. Safe. Spotted. Vinny. Ramp. Noted. Trying to delay. Time half gone. Bolts arriving shortly. Config unprepared, but still adjust immediately, immaculately. And they convert what Brolin started. A little bit more of a roar from the troops. DGL doing everything he can to try and keep the mojo flowing, because that's just one little taste, and they need two more.
Yeah, well, right now, Config having a step up there when the chips were down. It was a great job in towards that lower site from the likes of Henny. But this was the opener, and this was the spark. Sure, it looked like it was going to fall apart, but it was enough to get them down towards this lower site, and some bangers of shots there from Config to rip away some heads. Job not done. 2 more rounds for the Ninjas if they want to make it towards that group stage, but Imperial still got cash.
Oh, and Brolin's aggression this time is going to be slowed down by a spray. Phelps is brought into 27. Through this diagonal smoke wall. And there's more than just the one this time, but unconfirmed. Bomb on the back of Headtrick sweeping through silently. Henny though, look at this position. He's anticipating this. Imperial anticipating this. And shuts it down. It wasn't Hampus.
Textbook. Angle, kill. Molly, fallback. Beautiful work from Henny here.
An implication from the scalp alone that there's more behind it. This angle from Phelps. Hampus is aware of it, but can't best him. As Imperial counting on Phelps for more. It's not looking likely. Config isolates him, and Rez in the meantime goes walkabout. Takes Bolts down on A. Henny hitting every shot he takes. Maintains form, thriving in the pressure. Advantage seized by that AWPer. And with 38 seconds, decisions to be made. Headtrick and Rez. Heads on swivels.
This is a good call here. They should be able to get in towards the site. Looking at the util, the problem is they can't block decon door with a smoke. And Vinny's here. He doesn't realize it.
Now they know.
That's one back.
That's a gift. Vinny's going to be punching the air if he watches this one slip away now from the sidelines. Plant required. A necessity. With 10 seconds left, they extend the clock, the door's blown off, replace the flame, and try and find a post plant. Henny hitting every shot, sure, but is he ready for Rez? Yes, he is! Henny 3. Headtrick in the clutch. To secure 15. Here in Cologne. And Henny has relocated his Jota steps as well. An idea as to where they both reside. Pre-aim spotted out. Now he's surely a dead man. They can defuse. He just has to cover. Posted. Fragging. Henny comes up trump.
You see that roll right there? This is the Henny. This is the Henny. This is the guy.
Oh, I love it.
This is the passion. This is what I'm talking about. Him and Jota sitting next to each other. They've got that fire in the belly.
That gave me goosebumps,
and
man.
A massive round right there, letting them know they're not done just yet, and this game ain't over.
Incredible scenes from Henny. Such important frag. Every single one of them. Like, you can't take a single one of them away. And let's see Jota's reaction to Henny's monologue. Yeah, I thought he'd like that. Does he continue? Another opening on the menu. They're coming to test him. He's everywhere they are. Everywhere they go. First secret. Now ramp. Henny poised for success.
They need another plant here. NiP, max loss bonus into the next. Another plant to get another buy.
Missed shot. Running down the AWPer now. His reaction seems to have led to survival. They have ramp, sure, but it's still that 5-on-5 and a reaction required out of the defense. Loss of territory, regain somewhere else.
Oh, this is so brave, trying to go hell here.
Yeah.
They're not worried about the AWP holding off, but if Jota blocks them with the smoke, there's just no way you could dare braving that avenue. So sent packing back towards lobby here.
You can see Brian was communicating, and now he's moving towards it. Perhaps opting for a late lurk.
Might be a top play here. Squeaky with a very, very deep molly. Starting to fade now. Brolin to be the late piece of this puzzle. Up towards the roof is going to be Headtrick here. He's got a molly. Now, it looks like a backside molly he's about to throw here. Yes, indeed.
And oh, locking it down is Jota. It's his turn, his moment in the sun. And Vinny, walkabout, still at just. Hampers down, and it's looking perfect. Only Brolin can make an impact here. Headtrick as well. Chance to plant, perhaps. This is going to make a huge difference. And it does go down. Perhaps a conversation about the round. If Headtrick can snap into these main players. Vinny spotted out, executed. Headtrick, so much damage. Maybe Brolin's got it in him.
It's not planned for him.
Depends how long they take. If Phelps just holds it here. He's just holding it. He's holding it. He's holding it. Problematic. Can't see the defuse. And that's the end of the round. He'll take both of them down. Leaves with the AWP as well. But another step in that direction. Tied up. 14-14.
Oh, having to really suss out the finances here for either team. Talking max loss bonus for NiP with the plan and a saved AWP. A lot of damage. Their buy's going to be looking tidy, but these heroics from Jota from the raft are huge. Vinny again just scampers in and gets a kill. And from here, sure, it's looking great for Brolin, but hey, it's not planned for him. They're good kills. It's great to throw onto the board. The biggest key, no kit. It's actually done some good financial damage here. There's not a single kit in play, and Bolts is down to an MP9.
Okay,
maybe Brolin's damage is enough.
It could be. It's forced him into a slightly more uncomfortable position, and every single nuance in this game can make the difference and be the difference maker. What's the call? This is where an in-game leader can have an inspired call or feel responsible for their fall.
If Imperial lose this round, $1,400 to defend their honor in the next and final round, round number 30. They need this, and they need it now, or NiP might steal it.
Vinny's reaction is quite strong with the smoke as well.
They used all their nades. They got nothing left.
They've got nothing but a smoke and 2 flashes. Mission accomplished. You could say the same about the Ninjas.
Yeah, they used everything to go for that top play, and they were just blocked
by a single smoke on hut. And now it comes down to guns. Oh, Brolin gets away with murder onto Vinny, and the config is activating as well. Bolts has given up the goes. Spots out Jota. Not finishing it. We need action on main. Phelps contributing. Oh, and Phelps again. Hamper's looking for him. He hasn't have the bullets, so 2 on 2. Look at the mess they've made. 1 on 1 as Bolts does damage. 1 on 1, sure, but he's going straight. Oh! He gets away. 1 HP. Headtrick, how are you still alive? How is this clutch still a conversation? Up the ladder. Henny with the USP out. Headtrick staring at a smoke now. Henny up and out. 1 HP. With this spot in Cologne essentially up for debate. Doesn't matter when you've got an AWP, both of these players, 1 bullet will do it.
Remember, no kit. They couldn't afford one.
Good point. Play time. Headtrick has the same premonition.
He can't find him. He can't find him. Henny, the clock. The clock.
Out of time. Oh, spots him. That's it. Surely Headtrick's done it. I can't quite believe it. He was dropping down the vents. It was supposed to be done. And Henny silenced by Headtrick. No time for this one. And the 15th is theirs. 1 point of health, Chad.
And Henny is distraught. That right there. Dropped down the vent right into his... what should have been the demise, what should have been round number 15 for Imperial. Look at this, down the vent. Headtrick turns his back and pops up the ladder. How does he get away with this one?
Again, we just talked about nuance. We talked about the tiniest fractions. Never mind. 1 HP, a point of damage. A teammate with a misfire. Headsets are off, frustrations are high. 1 round left of regulation, folks.
We know exactly what that meant as far as the loss bonus. This was just consecutive round after round for Imperial here. A couple of dents. They were making the comeback. They were believing, just like Overpass.
Look at the cheeky smile, the contrast of the 2 human experiences happening live here in Cologne.
Imperial going to call a timeout again here, so just starting to burn a couple. Just really talking through what they have, which is basically nothing. You're taking a look at the purchases here. MP9s, 5.7, CZ, Henny yet to purchase anything up yet. He's still going to be rattling around his own head about that round. Headtrick called his bluff. He outplayed him. And Henny knows that when he dropped down that vent, it should have been his kill every day of the week.
We'll see it again while we have the time. 30 seconds.
Oh my God. How quick did he get back up? I think just maybe two?
Two of the shots. Sorry, we've got 15 more seconds, production. Do you mind if we give that to me one more time? Oh, wow. I mean, just the full spectrum of emotions.
Yep.
Over the course of a game of Counter-Strike, he just needs a minute. But let's see it. So 1, 2, yeah.
Oh my God,
went to the legs because he was on his way up.
Oh my God. Yeah, Zach.
Well, this is where...
What can you do, Zach? What can you do? What can you say? Oh my God. Give us overtime. I think Imperial deserve it. I think we deserve it. Let's get it on.
5-7 CZs, a couple of SMGs up against armored to the teeth T's. Jota and that CZ, we know he likes it. We know he can do damage with it. Matching set with the gloves. He's got the style points, but can he do anything in their time of need? Contact. Spots the whole team. Mouth moving about a million miles an hour. Henny's there as well, ready to support. Perhaps they can have the crossfighters hold the choke points. This is where those pistols thrive. Close quarter environment. Bullets to the head. NiP walking in contact. And that's Brawlin caught out. Jota activates. Henny contributes. And that's got to give him something. 3 frags. With the limited resources, Hampus is hoping to catch him in transition. And Vinny has been caught. Hampus communicating a lot. Res to react. The 2 Swedes now probably transition. Sweden versus Brazil. 55 seconds.
Phelps is in the perfect position. Res. He's going to go up the ladder to his demise.
He's lost the bomb down the ladder at least. Perhaps a conversation to be had, but what's Hampus to do?
Oh, coming up secret. Bolts might have the perfect timing. Hampus got the back turned. Hampus is ready for this.
Out. They're taking it. Surely to overtime now. 5 HP left on him. Hampus's days are numbered. And Henny's missed 1 HP will not be haunting him unless Hampus does something equally ridiculous right here.
That smoke is devilish. That just dropped just under sub 30. What is Hampus meant to do? What is he meant to do?
Hope that he's not looking, and he tries a speculative spray.
It's over. We're going to overtime.
And that 3K from Jota and Henny. The conversation. They save it. They never gave up. Staring in the face of complete oblivion. Money broken. Heart and soul ripped out of you. And you take 3 timeouts back to back to back to bring it back to overtime.
Oh, they didn't give up, and look at this again, the 2 of them back to back. The 2, Jota and Henny just locking down this B site, and Phelps licking his lips. You're coming up the ladder into an MP9 with the bomb. And desperation stations from Hampus there. No time, no HP, no chance as we get back into things.
Give me more. Give me more. Phelps, we know what he was doing on Yard. We're straight back into the action here. MR3 12.5. The wall of smoke's erected, no answers from the CTs. It's an effective wall and a deviation from the norm.
Yeah, Brolin and Hampus paired up here down towards the lower side. Already have this space quite early. You can see Jota here just jumping, playing for information. Mollied off for now. Back fence susceptible. The Bolt, you caught in no man's land, still gets 1.5.
Yeah, no complaints from him. Despite being caught out, he contributes. And Henny, his impact has been felt. Tested again this time. An off angle, an investigation that they think better of. Vinny's up to no good. Into the smoke, Config's anticipating it, staring at it. They're next to each other. Oh, Rez dinked, but his weapon's better. Phelps' reaction's impressive. He's managed to already tuck in. Might be overlooked, but Config's cleared him out. Nicely done as NiP look to take their first of this overtime.
Henny's not too far away here. If they overstep the mark, Jota's coming in from main. They would need to give them a reason to go for this, and Headtrick says no. If they can grab one, you go fishing late in this stage. Anything can happen. Players overstepping their positions, re-peeking, causing some issues as short. Henny will grab one, but this isn't the type of retake he should be considering. Are they going to feed him any more here? Push from Squeaky. He's grabbed another. Seems to be aware of everything.
He's got Config as well. Henny If you had the kit, he's just going to run at it.
There's one backside.
There is one backside. He is not going to have time. Needs to kill the hut now, immediately, and Pronin will save him from red faces, but Henny, he keeps him honest. He keeps him honest, reminds him who they're trifling with.
Yeah, and putting his skill on display right there as well. Imperial, you brought it back all this way.
I can't believe they're still here.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like,
they never gave up.
There are so many human beings that would have been swallowed and consumed by that.
I thought Henny, I honestly thought he was done. I didn't think he would offer any contribution going in the next round. You saw how distraught he looked and checked that one from both angles. Damn. And here we go again. This time, more pace towards Yard. Hampus. Oh, smoke wall didn't land. It's been rumbled here.
Yikes.
Yeah, you can see they've thrown a molly, so this is a forced gap in the smoke wall.
A forced error, as it were. And Rez, lucky to be alive, to be honest.
Well, lots of information here, and NiP's opening gambit to get them space towards Yard. They will have to try and recalculate this. Reboost up and towards the rafters here. Will facilitate a bit of help towards Yard if necessary. Vinny. And transition, but helps not to. They are trying to fortify A right here. Helps backing up ramp. Any down towards B just in case, but NiP appear to be setting up the util for a top explode. If they molly backside and they come in through main, there's nobody home to worry about here. And oh, Phelps.
Just in time. I say that a lot with Phelps in his positioning. Oh, he eats the flash. No one's looking. He's still alive. He gets a frag. Brolin needs revenge. Config will put him to rest, but already a contribution. In these awkward environments, it seems Imperial's individuals still manage to get something. Hot fight. Elevated angles. Hiding in the smoke. Vinny delivers. Hampus will keep it level. And it's still, not finishing his meal.
No.
Bolts was stuck between two different frags, and no, the trigger discipline doesn't get rewarded. Rez with that AWP and the low HP contributes for their 17.
He went for a 1-on-4. He's definitely going for a 1-on-2.
He's coming for a knock. He's coming for a look. Rez a hobby AWPer. Henny, this is his main profession. Ready for this angle for the clear. Baits the shot. A pot shot through the wall, and now an AK-47 to try and find them both. Molly might do it if he could just find Hampus. Rez has to go wide. It might spread out. Yeah, Hampus good for it. Keeping their head above water. And to remind you, T side, we just saw NiP kind of get swallowed by the moment in their T campaign and regulation. If they could leave with 2, well, they will. If they could leave with 3, they would be laughing.
Yeah, and that should be the game at that point, right? You mentioned the moment starting to be a bit of an issue for NiP. We saw what happened on Overpass. Imperial brought it back. I thought it could happen here again on Nuke. But they found this second wind, and it looks like they're finding their voice once more. Again, this similar scene. It's a top go. Rez is out hot fast.
Very fast, so quick. Bolts is still blind. Brolin right behind. Vinny's gone, and there's more to be done. Phelps caught in main, and that looks like a perfect T-side. Many would consider that to be curtains for Imperial's journey here in Cologne. Jota caught standing still like a statue. And Henny, no reason not to give it the beans, as it were. But no pathway to do so. Smokes off the squeaky side. Pot shots through the smoke is only hope, and an 18 secured in the first half of overtime. I mean, NiP would have bit your arm off for 2, never mind 3.
Yeah, just any hit couldn't be a nuisance in these early rounds, right? Could only really come alive late where he was trying to win out clutches with that AWP. So they've been able to avoid him and the big green, and there's definitely a change of demeanor in the camp here. It's going to have to be 3 consecutive rounds out of Imperial on their T side if we want to go double OT. They pushed NiP, they've made them work, they've shown heart, they've shown grit, they've shown determination here today, the Brazilians. But this might be it.
What a game. Full 3-map affair, throwing overtime in there for good measure. I mean, both teams leaving it all out in the server. In our final advancement match.
Now, Phelps was an issue getting down secret in the first half. We have to go back in time about 45 minutes, but Hamp has been in a forward position over towards secret means that Phelps will not be able to grab that real estate so easily. That doesn't spread. That's bad info. And they might not clear.
Passive angle held by Headtrick, but information nonetheless. Anyone that crosses to red will be reported back or not anymore.
You see the real contrast in the two teams' T sides, right? A lot more pace, a lot more quickness out of NiP, but this is exactly what Imperial were using within that first half of play. Sit and wait mentality.
He's looking at his teammates, Monas. Make sure you have your eyes on the prize here as they're coming his way. Swinging through, lining up, and a triple spray to finish it all and break Brazilian hearts. Hampus, a prime position. Jota, not his next victim, but Config there for the trade as the Ninjas in pajamas secure it. And they are locked in for the group stage. A sigh of relief and a rabid roar. The Ninjas in pajamas send Imperial home.
What a hard-fought battle, and no better way than Hampus with a multi-kill on the final round. The returning in-game leader took some leave, came back, took back upstage of IEM Cologne in 20...